Jesse is in the middle of the pumpkin patch. No, start with P, but they're not pumpkins. Potato patch, and the potatoes have done really well. And I think usually when you get to this stage of the game, if you dig down in here, sure enough, isn't that a nice red Norland potato? So when the tops die back completely, that's when we'll harvest, but we can dig in here and steal a few potatoes from this point on. That's a nice one. And we'll just have to take that inside and do something with it tonight. Anyway, moving on, let's go over here to the sweet potato. Now, last time I told you that the sweet potatoes had a terrible time getting going, but that they might, let's get rid of this weed here for a second. Okay, don't want that there. Anyway, I said they might be taking over the entire area by the time we next met. Well, they haven't quite taken over, but you can see they're very healthy growth, and they're vining out very nicely, and they certainly will cover this area by next month. And hopefully we'll end up with some nice sweet potatoes because they're looking quite healthy. Now the okra is also doing just great, and a little bonus that you get with okras is the blooms, because they're related, I think, to oh, what the heck is it? I can't remember now. Anyway, but I'm intercutting some video that I shot this afternoon, because by this time of the day, when I usually do the garden video, it's in the evening, the blooms have closed up. But you can see what they look like in the afternoon. They're just gorgeous yellow, big blooms with that deep purple center. They're just really neat looking. And those blooms fall off, and then the okra pods form right behind them, like that one right there, which is way ready to be harvested. Now, if you recall, I had one tomato plant that I stuck in because I didn't have quite as many okra plants as I was planning on, and he's doing quite nicely here. Speaking of doing well, look at our eggplants. Now that we've got the flea beetles under control, see all the holes in this leaf here? That's what the flea beetles do, but we sprayed for them, and now the newer leaves are in great shape. But if you look down under here, that lovely purple, that's a nice little eggplant coming in. Not quite done yet, but boy, the skin of those are just so pretty. That deep purple and shiny and everything. That's one of the reasons I grow eggplant, is just because of the way they look. Meanwhile, back in pepper country, lots of peppers coming in. Peppers all over the place. These are called apple, and lots of them happening. I think there's a fairly big one right there. Yeah, very nice. These are called Carmen, and I think they're going to turn red if I am patient enough and leave them out here long enough. And this variety is Round of Hungary, and they are turning nicely. Little sort of flat, round peppers, but you can see there's lots of them here. And so we're having a pretty good pepper season. This row here is just a mixture of all three types. Meanwhile, let's just step back here for a second to get the scope of the tomatoes. They are doing fantastically. Molly thinks there might be some varmints down in there, but as you can see, they're just overgrowing the tops of the cages, as they should be at this time of year. And we've got lots of green tomatoes that are showing great promise. This is Pink Beauty right here. Nice looking. And they're all over the place. These are San Marzano, which is an Italian kind of tomato. And they are also looking good. And then, of course, our favorite around here, Juliet. Just cascades of Juliet tomatoes. Also looking very fine. And that nice clump right above Molly. Who's pretty sure there's something down here that she needs to get. Like I say, she's back to her old self. On to corn. This is the little corn here. This is the latest planted corn. 5 rows of that, followed by 5 rows of the intermediate corn, followed by 5 rows of the earliest planted corn. And as you can see, it's approaching 6 feet tall, and as a matter of fact, we're even having some of the seeds coming out here. So pretty soon we're going to be seeing some ears and everything, and we'll be into corn season. They're not quite as far along as they are some years, but that's because we started them a little later than normal. Finally got the cover crop planted in bed 6 here, and also in the lesser pumpkin patch and the greater pumpkin patch far out there. And we've got stuff going on outside the garden too, so let's take a gander. Alright, here's our, out in the mini orchard, our first little peach tree. Lots of little peaches on there. Leaves seem to be suffering a little bit, but we might get a few peaches anyway. There's our second peach tree, has quite a few more peaches on it. And the tree itself looks a little more healthy. And look at our red delicious. I don't know if you can see the number of apples that are hanging out in this tree. Really looking fine. I don't know if you can see them all in there, but we have really dozens and dozens of apples hanging out, and hopefully they'll make it. The Granny Smith is not doing quite as well count-wise, but we do have a few apples hanging around, and so hopefully we'll get a few Granny Smith. And then finally in the mini orchard, here's our last little pear tree, which has a few pears on it. Nothing exciting, but at least there are some coming in. So that's always a wait until fall to see what's going to happen with them. Alright, back in the garden. That's going to just about do it. This July has been, speaking of back to her old self, woohoo, she says, let's go. We're having some gardening fun now. Anyway, this July has been cool. It's been the coolest, second coolest summer on record. After the second wettest spring on record. But things are going nicely anyway out here in the garden. And it is a lovely evening, although it's not the typical 90 degrees and humid that you'll often get in July, and that I actually kind of look forward to in the summer months. I'm sure we'll get plenty of them either the rest of this month or in August. But everything is going well. We'll have a big harvest this evening. Lots of veggie stir-frying going on, and doesn't get much better than this as far as vegetable gardening goes. But August should be a great month too, and we look forward to seeing you then. So until next time, from Molly and Jesse and me, hope you're having a great summer and a great July, and that the rest of your summer will just be fantastic as this evening is. Oh, by the way, we do have little bluebirds in the bluebird house, so that's kind of fun. And I think we've got a chickadee in this other bird house here, and we did have wrens in the one behind me. But I think they're all done for already. They move kind of quickly. Anyway, I'm rambling as always. Have a great summer. Have a great July. And we'll see you in August. This is Marvin Garden's July 2009. we will see you all later. Bye.